I don't know if he needs an apology. He needs Zelenskyy to recognize the position that he's in.
Which to you is what?
We're their patron. We're their best hope for the killing to stop and for them to emerge from this sovereign and prosperous. And we're also their best hope as a business partner. I mean, all Zelenskyy had to do today was put on a tie, show up, smile, say thank you, sign the papers, and have lunch. That's it. And he couldn't do that. And this followed 10 days of being difficult in private and now 1 day of being stupid in public. This did not have to go down this way.
Okay.
And however you feel about why it started, why it's going on, who's right and who's wrong, we can help them in this and come out okay on the other side, and he's making it hard.
Now, first of all,
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I actually agree with Scott. And everything that he said was basically right.
Wow.
I know. I'm going to get killed on social media for admitting that, but so be it. And the fact is that it doesn't matter whether Vice President Vance planned it or just took the opportunity to bait Zelenskyy. Zelenskyy took the bait, okay? Yeah. And he shouldn't have. He made a mistake.
Because this was a total disaster for Zelenskyy, and he did it to himself. Scott is absolutely right. All Zelenskyy had to do was act professional, show gratitude, and handle business like a leader. Instead, he decided to make things difficult behind closed doors for 10 days, and then embarrass himself in public. How does that help Ukraine? How does that get them more support? It doesn't. It just makes him look entitled and ungrateful. And let's be real. America is the reason Ukraine is even still standing. We've sent billions of dollars, military aid, weapons, and resources. Instead of acting like he's in charge, Zelenskyy should be humble and thankful because, like Scott said, we're their best shot at survival. But nope, he couldn't even do the bare minimum. Now, was this a setup? Did J.D. Vance plan to bait him? Maybe. But here's the thing. Zelenskyy took the bait. That's on him. A real leader knows when to keep his emotions in check and play smart, but instead he let his ego take over and made a fool of himself. Bottom line, this didn't have to go down like this. Zelenskyy is making things harder than they need to be, and it's just proving what Trump has been saying all along. We need leaders who actually put America first instead of constantly throwing money at foreign conflicts with no accountability. And for the guest who admitted Scott was right, welcome to reality. The left can cry on social media all they want, but the truth is the truth.
We have never seen anything quite like what happened at the White House today.
Today, Donald Trump irreparably destroyed the 80-year-old post-World War II international order.
An Oval Office ambush of an American ally that will reverberate all around the world and stain America's image for years to come.
That was, to say the least, the most contentious confrontation between world leaders perhaps we have ever seen, certainly on television.
It was a truly historic moment, not in the good way. One that I fear realigned the world order, upending the only foreign policy consensus that most living Americans and Europeans have ever known.
I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. What I saw is a complete transformation of what the United States is in the world.
Certainly was a day of shame for the United States. That clip, the footage of the Oval Office meeting, is going to be shown for years to come by politicians, government officials, historians, university professors, because it very clearly captures the moment when the Trump administration sent a signal that it was ceding America's traditional global leadership role.
I don't think it's hyperbole to say we as a country have never quite seen anything like this particularly appalling spectacle before.
Diplomacy is not negotiating in public in a spray. The more I see the dialogue, the more I feel like Zelenskyy was ambushed.
The mainstream media is losing their minds over this. And honestly, it's hilarious. They can't handle the fact that Trump isn't playing their game anymore. He saw right through Zelenskyy's act, called him out, and sent him packing. And now the media is throwing a full-blown tantrum because their little Ukraine narrative just took a massive hit. For years, they've been propping up Zelenskyy like he's some kind of hero, acting like the U.S., owes him unlimited support with no questions asked. But the second Trump actually holds him accountable, suddenly, it's the end of the world. Give me a break. They're not mad because of what happened. They're mad because Trump exposed the truth. Zelenskyy doesn't want peace. He wants more money, more weapons, and zero negotiations. And the media? They'll spin any lie necessary to keep pushing their agenda. But here's the reality. Americans are tired of this nonsense. We've sent billions to Ukraine while our own country is struggling with inflation, crime, and a border crisis. Trump stood up and said, enough is enough. And now the media is in full meltdown mode because they know their control over the narrative is slipping. Honestly, watching them freak out is almost as satisfying as watching Trump kick Zelenskyy out of the White House.
Needs to issue an apology tonight?
Absolutely. He should have done it already. He should have done it in the Oval Office. If you look at the totality of that meeting, 40 minutes of that meeting, dare I say it was a perfect meeting. And I'm being ironic in that a little bit. But it was positive, it was cordial, and it's on camera. It wasn't until Zelenskyy got upset with J.D. Vance when the vice president said, and he was absolutely correct, that the previous administration was more interested in vapid wordsmithing than they were in bringing an end to this conflict. They cared more about applause lines at Davos than they did in ending the war in Ukraine. And he was correct about that. Zelenskyy was upset, and quite frankly, he was testy throughout the entire meeting.
Zelenskyy was upset because he was trying to make the point, and Alexander knows a lot about this.
No, Zelenskyy was mad because he wanted to hear the president say that Russia is bad, Russia is bad. How do you negotiate?
It is nonsense. It's completely historical. This is the second administration of a president that oversaw 4 years of war between Russia and Ukraine, didn't do anything about it. Now he thinks he has this idea to bring peace. And what does he do? He bends the knee. He appeases. His goal is to appease Putin. When what he should be doing is figuring out the fact that you're right. The Biden administration didn't do enough. But Russia's on the ropes. And the way you get peace is you get Putin to negotiate. You get Putin.
So you get peace through a resolution at the United Nations that means absolutely nothing. We demand that you withdraw.
6 administrations have tried to conduct
they try with words.
Policy of appeasement.
And Russia has been at war since the Russian Federation came into existence.
Actually, it's been in war since 4 years of Trump also, don't forget. He didn't manage
Since 1991, they have been almost at war the entire time. Crimea, Chechnya, go on down the list. And it's words. But my point is America
why are we guys, hold on a second.
Wait, what? Now they're saying Zelenskyy should be the one apologizing? Well, it's about time someone in the media admitted the obvious. Honestly, he should have apologized the second he walked out of that room. Trump and the U.S. have done more for Ukraine than anyone, and instead of showing respect, Zelenskyy acted entitled, pushed his demands, and refused to negotiate in good faith. That's not how you handle diplomacy, and it's definitely not how you treat the country that's been bankrolling your entire war effort. But let's be real. The only reason CNN is even considering that Zelenskyy should apologize is because they know he messed up big time. He played it all wrong, got himself kicked out, and now they're trying to do damage control. At the end of the day, Trump doesn't owe him a thing. Zelenskyy should be the one reaching out, saying, "My bad, let's try this again." But we all know that won't happen, because just like the media, he never takes responsibility for anything.